To the Kosi Arsenal podcast. My name is Kosi. We'll come back to a brand new video. Arsenal are in advanced negotiations to sign Rosenborg midfielder Svere Nypan. According to The Athletic and David Stein, that is the story that we have this morning. Also, Arsenal are backing away from the Benjamin Sesko deal right now because we are looking at Sesko as a long-term deal, and therefore Arsenal are looking at alternatives for the January transfer market. We shall revisit the situation on Benjamin Sesko in the summer. We are also going to be talking about the board. They are willing to back Mikel Arteta once again for wider squad building. He's going to be signing more players. Of course, we have already signed Martin Zubimendi. He's going to be bringing in attackers, and now Svere Nypan is another player that Arsenal are on the verge of signing should everything be agreed between the players' representatives and also Rosenborg. And finally, we'll be talking about Victor Osimhen. Is Osimhen one of the players that Arsenal could turn to? According to Sky Sports, there was contact a couple of days ago between Arsenal and Victor Osimhen. There is interest there, but could actually Arsenal go and get him? Could Galatasaray let him go this January? We shall be finding out in this video. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel as well. We are coming a little bit early today because we have that 6 p.m. kickoff, Arsenal versus Wolves, and of course I'll be giving you my preview and thoughts and predictions at the end of this video. But let's get into it. Let's start off with the big story. Arsenal are seemingly working on a deal. Now, yesterday, I revealed that Arsenal are working on something. David Stein did confirm that he thinks Arsenal will sign someone by the end of the window, but we just don't know who. Mikel Arteta as well said in attack, we lack quality, we lack options as well. So if we get a good deal, if we get someone that can elevate this team, that can improve this team and get the quality up there, we are definitely going to go and do the deal. So it looks like Svere Nypan is the player that Arsenal are looking to sign. Just to give you a brief background on the deal and the player, Svere Nypan is a Norwegian young footballer. He can play as an attacking 8 or attacking 10. He also plays across the forward line. So the way you see Ethan Nwaneri, you can play him as a 7, you can play him, as a false 9. And Mikel Arteta is very interested in Svere Nypan because of his, ability to play in very different positions. Now, of course, he's only 18 years of age. He's only played in Norway at Rosenborg, but he is seen as the next Martin Odegaard. He's seen as one of the next, big things on European football. Obviously, remember a couple of years ago when Martin Odegaard, broke through Norwegian football and then joined Real Madrid. It was quite, a scene. It is the same thing with Svere Nypan. The difference here between Odegaard and Nypan is Nypan actually started playing football at a younger age. He actually started playing for Rosenborg, the senior team, at only 15. He is the youngest player to score a goal in the Norwegian Premier League or top division, at just 15 years of age. So he is that good, and many clubs want him. It's not only Arsenal. Manchester City have been on his trail. Arsenal have been there, like I said. Manchester United have been there, and a couple of clubs are still interested in Svere Nypan. But yesterday, as we were going to bed, it was quite, a very, very slow day in terms of Arsenal news. The Athletic did an article, and this article was done by two of my favorite writers at The Athletic. I do like a couple of others, but James McNicholas and David Stein, those are the two favorites when it comes to Arsenal news. They broke the story and they confirmed that Svere Nypan talks are advancing between Arsenal and Rosenborg. Talks are advancing between Arsenal and the representatives of the player as well. However, there is nothing that has been agreed upon yet. And this is the reason as to why that is the situation. The representatives of the player want to make sure that there is a clear path for the player to join the first team. And whichever club they join, whichever club they go to, whether it's Manchester City, whether it's Chelsea, whether it's Manchester United or Arsenal, they want to make sure that Svere Nypan is not going to be thrown in the academies to rot there. They want to make sure that, the player joins your club, but there is a clear pathway, there are clear conditions for the player to join the first team. It's very, very similar to what Chido Obi Martin's representatives were actually asking for, and that's why he went to join Manchester United rather than staying at Arsenal. So it looks like we are facing the same problem. Now, James McNicholas and David Ornstein are also saying that if Svere Nypan joins Arsenal, he is going to be part of the first team in January. And that's because Mikel Arteta's team is riddled with injuries right now, and therefore he needs quick reinforcement. So Svere Nypan doesn't come in as an 18-year-old who's going to be playing with the under-21s, under-19s, or under-18s. He's going to be an 18-year-old that comes in and, straight away joins the first team. I mean, it's quite fascinating because you look at how Mikel Arteta is very, very skeptical on giving young players, playing time in the Premier League and Champions League. You look at the time when we missed Odegaard, he refused to play Ethan Nwaneri. Not until Saka's injury have we seen Ethan Nwaneri being brought on and given a major part to play in the squad. But if he's willing to give Svere Nypan a first team chance at just 18, coming from Rosenborg, a team that is playing in Norway, then this guy must be very, very good. Now, I'm not going to sit here and lie that I know much about Svere Nypan. I'm not going to come here and say, listen, he is this and that. I have seen some of his clips. I've watched one game, and it was kind of it was a replay because I was just trying to find as much information I could get on this 18-year-old that everyone is interested in. I can tell you guys, he is talented. He is actually good. And when I say good, I mean Ethan Nwaneri good. That kind of level, that kind of, talent that is just 17, 18, but they blend into the first team. They blend into, the senior team seamlessly. That is Svere Nypan. Now, of course, if as an Arsenal fan, I wouldn't be really overexcited about Svere Nypan. And this is the reason. Although he's a signing, although we want signings, and although he's a forward signing, I kind of feel like Arsenal are still beating around the bush. We're still not hitting the target. The target is, can we get a number 9 to help out Kai Havertz? Now, people are really talking about Kai Havertz's numbers this season. He scored 14 goals in all competitions in just 30 games compared to the 14 goals he scored last year in 51 games. And that's actually understandable. There is an improvement there. Less numbers, more output, or the same output. But this is the question we are asking. Could Arsenal do better than Kai Havertz? And if you take away Kai Havertz's numbers, in terms of goals and assists, who do we turn to on that forward line? That is the question every Arsenal fan is asking. So for me, Svere Nypan would come in as credible cover to Martin Odegaard. He would come in as very good cover to Ethan Nwaneri. He would come in as very good cover to maybe a few positions. But I won't be surprised if he comes in and even doesn't play, more than 5 games. Because he's an 18-year-old, you don't expect him to come in and impact games right away. So can we get a player that is going to impact games right away? And that takes us to the next part of the story that was broken by David Ornstein and James McNicholas through The Athletic. And they can confirm that Benjamin Sesko and a couple of other long-term targets are now proving difficult for Arsenal to get, and therefore Arsenal will turn their attention to alternatives. Now, when we say alternatives, basically what I understood through the article is Arsenal are looking to do a deal for players that could impact us, but they're short-term, right? Short-term deals. We are talking loan deals from overseas. We are talking maybe a permanent deal, but for a player who will not hinder the arrival of Isak, the arrival of Sesko, the arrival of Matthias Cunha in the summer, depending on how our budget will actually, allow us to spend. So, Ornstein and James McNicholas are saying that at the moment, Arsenal are very, very serious about getting an alternative to Sesko and Isak, and then we can sort out the situation a little bit later on. For me, this takes me to Victor Osimhen. Now, I don't want you to take the Victor Osimhen story and say, oh, because it's sake we're bringing Victor Osimhen. I want to talk about Victor Osimhen because I have seen Sky Sports a couple of days ago saying that Arsenal had initiated contact, they made contact with the camp of Victor Osimhen to sound out a move. That means that the deal is so far away. And the Victor Osimhen deal is not an easy one. Galatasaray, the owners of the player, are actually, enjoying him. He's one of the players this season so far that are really in form. He has had about 16 goal involvements already for them. And, I don't think that you want to lose such a player. I understand that a good club like Galatasaray, an ambitious club like Galatasaray, wouldn't want to lose such a player. That is my opinion. Again, it wouldn't be an easy deal. It wouldn't be a bad deal either. If we can get Osimhen to join us on loan, he's on loan at Galatasaray from Napoli. So if we can get him to join us on loan, that would be a good deal. In my opinion, that would be a good deal. You're getting Victor Osimhen, you pay his wages for 6 months, you're getting him, he could win you the league. For me, Osimhen, I would do on a permanent and I would do on a loan basis. And I think Napoli right about now, they have made some money with Kavic Kvaratskhelia and they will be looking to maximize the potential of Osimhen's transfer. So if a club like Arsenal can come in and commit that we will take him, if he does well for 6 months, we shall consider the idea of buying him on a permanent. I think we have a chance to get him from Galatasaray because one, the player wants to play in the Premier League. There's no question about that. And secondly, I think Galatasaray are not going to buy him for this crazy amount of money that is being quoted by Napoli, 60 million, 70 million. But Arsenal in the end could get this guy at 55 million or 65 million pounds. And that would be a very, very good deal. So among the alternatives that we could look at Victor Osimhen. Again, Sky Sports saying that Arsenal have sounded out a move for the player, a couple of days ago. We don't know whether that means that we're going to get him or we just wanted to know the conditions of the deal, but that is also there. So also in terms of other alternatives, Dusan Vlahovic is a player that is there, and also Matthias Cunha. Although there is a strong belief inside Wolverhampton Wanderers that Cunha will stay, there is also a strong belief outside Wolverhampton Wanderers that Cunha might actually leave, and a couple of sources and outlets are saying it could cost around 60 million, it could cost around 70 million. So I won't be surprised at all at any point in time. I won't be surprised if Matthias Cunha or Victor Osimhen, or one of them, is one of the players that we actually end up with. Now, today is match day at exactly 6 p.m. Arsenal will be taking up Wolverhampton Wanderers. It's a quite interesting game because Matthias Cunha could be playing his last game for Wolverhampton Wanderers, and he could be going against his future bosses. It's one of the highlights of the game of the weekend. But I think for Arsenal, Wolverhampton Wanderers, whether it's at the Molineux or it's at the Emirates, it's a game we've got to win. We've dropped points over the last weekend against Aston Villa, a 2-2 draw that was disgusting. I was gutted when I was watching that game. Arsenal leading 2-0, Trossard really putting in a good performance, and then we pour it away. I was talking to one of the Arsenal fans, one of my friends, and he was saying, listen, we are 6-9 points approximately behind Liverpool, but we have dropped about 14 points from winning positions this campaign. And that's the reason as to why we are so far away from Liverpool. It's that Arsenal are losing so many points from winning positions this campaign. So the Wolverhampton Wanderers game means a couple of things. One, it means that Arsenal have a chance to bounce back to winning ways against a weaker or smaller opponent. You don't want to play Aston Villa and then you play Manchester City next. although City are not in form, but they're still Manchester City, hello, or Newcastle next, right? So it looks like Wolverhampton Wanderers is a must-win game for us, and it's a game that we've got to go and win regardless. But also, if you look at the fixtures that are coming up after Wolves, you have Newcastle in the Carabao Cup second leg. That's going to be interesting because Arsenal have to turn around a 2-0 deficit at the St. James's Park. Good luck with that. And then the next game is Manchester City. Obviously, we've not beaten Manchester City this season yet, but it's our chance to beat them. I do not think that City are worse than us. I just kind of feel like they're just having a bad season. And Arsenal are not really having a bad season, really. But, there was one pundit that said Arsenal are like 2 defeats away from a crisis. Are we 2 defeats away from a crisis? Probably not. But Wolverhampton Wanderers is a game that I expect Arsenal to win fully blown. And my prediction is going to be a 2-0 win for Arsenal. Let's not make it difficult. Let's not make it hard. Go and win that game, and life moves on. Love you. Speak to you in the next one, probably tomorrow for the match reaction.